Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and to this, the first in honestly quite some time, both update video and also video that I'm recording without also streaming. And I mean, I am streaming later today, so I could have easily done it then, but I'm deciding to do it now. And it's a bit different because it is an update video and the update will come soon, but I also wanted to do a little bit of a showcase. And this is also partly because of something else I'm working on that will hopefully come throughout the summer. And if it does, hopefully it should benefit the books a lot. But I wanted to share around all the different places where you can see the activity, basically. Beyond just YouTube and Twitch and also TikTok, even though I have got the TikTok on this list. But I'm going to actually start with the first sort of book-focused social that I ever made, and it is the f.m.books, Fellowmind books, page on Facebook, and I will perfectly admit, it is one of these pages that I seriously need to do more updates on than I do. Just trying to balance everything, especially on my own. It's trying to balance the social media side of it. Be on YouTube quite challenging. Honestly, just trying to find the time for it. Because normally when I go and do these things, I tend to do chunks of marketing on different groups or sharing the content out or things like that, and then I kind of leave my own stuff by the wayside, which is not really great and something that I need to work on. But the f.m books page is one of those that is very much dedicated to the books alone. The streaming stuff does not feature on it, and occasionally the podcast or the dyspraxia content does, but it is a primary book-based page, and it is a page on Facebook, and like all the others, its link is in all the video descriptions. I have been starting to tailor, so I haven't been piling all of them onto the same descriptions on the same videos, but it is there. And yes, it's been quite a nice page. It's got a relatively kind of nice small following at the moment, so it'll be brilliant to see more people on there, and I know that doing more updates will allow that. And I also know that Facebook isn't used as much as it used to be, but I know there are still a lot of creative groups out there that are quite massive. So, yep. And it is basically that I've toyed around sometimes and done a few little posts about the world building of the lore, but for the majority of it, flipping motorbike. Sorry. For the majority of it, it is book focused entirely, and as you can see, and I will flick over to it right now, if we go over to the photos for a moment, you can see that there are some very old maps of Athalas designs on all of that. There is also the original photo I had of multiples of the books together where I managed to leave a bit of the camera strap in by accident, which is always a bit fun. But you've got the front cover one. I haven't actually done a photo of Assault on Athalas's cover on this as well, so that needs to be the next one. And yes, the symbol is a little snail with the attempt at the library. I have to thank a very good friend of mine for that, because she was the one who did the drawing. She was the one who actually came up with the idea as well for that being the logo. So on the snail with the small library on the shell. And yeah, it is. I'm not showcasing it because I know it's also the profile picture for one of the other pages, so you'll get a closer look of it then. but she is also the mutual, or the joint creator of one of the larger book projects that has been, I've hinted at it a few times, and it is going to hopefully see some more work once Path of Shah's finished. But that project is very much a joint one between both of us, so a bit different there. But you can see it's got the early front covers for Athalas and everything. It's got Soul of the Gem on there, Code of Chivalry. So it's got a lot of artwork. Yep, it's even got the background as well. So if we go down to just switch over to the posts, yeah, the last one was in January. It's not one that I've been keeping up with as much as I should, but I have still been trying to actively include it in the videos. And again, like I said, full discretion, I need to work on it more. It's as simple as that. And I think that's going to be what yeah, actually, you know what, let's include that for a fun little question. What is your favourite book genre? It was an interesting intro decision I made when I created the page, but for all, yep, by all means, you understand? Yeah, just. So that is the book page after all of this little nattering. Um, and again, it will be in this video link. It's in so many of the other video links as well, so the link is very easy to find. It's just f.mbooks, and it will have the link next to it in the video description. So yeah, be sure to check it out, and I swear that I am going to try and post on there more. In the future, I would love to maybe get someone else involved who could handle the media side of it more so, because it's something that, well, I am very much aware many other creators do struggle to keep up with on their own. So next up, we are going to keep with the face. It is a more creator-centric group. Now, this one is a bit different, where whilst the book theme is still focused on, it does extend out more, like things like the podcast with the creativity aspect and things like that, and sometimes the Twitch. So this is a more roundhouse group, and it was another sort of analog and idea to just put in a proper group, not just a page where you could just go through, talk with other creators, and I could post the updates and everything. Eventually, it would be a point where other people would be able to post their stuff within reason. None of this trying to advert on the comments of someone else or any of that kind of rubbish. But again, like the page, this group has been advertised, or not advertised, but the link has been included in many of the videos, and I'm not going to keep repeating that because it's the same for pretty much all of these. But yes, the Fellowmind creator group, and much like the page, again, I need to post more on it. And it's almost like I need to assign a day, almost, or like assign different days where I post on these different things more actively between the Ko-fi, the page, the group. Maybe I should look into doing that. And yeah, this is one that's mostly at the moment been just sharing the YouTube or the book updates or things, but it's there to be expanded upon. Other creators involved as well, from like the podcast and things like that. I know at least a couple of the podcast guests are already members of this group, so, but like the page at the moment is still a relatively small following. YouTube's actually the biggest following at the moment. No, Twitch is. YouTube's the second most. But so again, it's there for people to be able to keep updated and things, because you guys see the sort of content that comes out on the channel. It's a bit muddly, but for me it works, like trying to balance two channels. I've growing up watching YouTube, I have seen a lot of creators try and balance multiple channels, and I've seen a lot of them struggle with it, and I know that on my own I would seriously struggle with that. So until I'm a bit bigger in terms of scale and size, and potentially got another person or maybe two people involved or something, it's going to remain being this sole channel. And I mean, it may still remain that anyway. But these groups and things are able to pick out the relative videos so that people don't necessarily have to cycle through everything. And just whilst we're here and talking about video updates and things, I am just going to mention I'm not showcasing the Discord today. And that's more because I've got no real way of like hiding areas of it that people just don't really need to see, like the profiles of the people who are members and things like that. Like, so it's not because they've done anything bad, it's just a bit of privacy and all of that. So, but the Discord is up there, and that link should be permanent. That I'm linking out on some of the videos, not all, but it is there. And the creator group is also present, and unlike Discord, you don't necessarily need an actual official invite link to join it, because the group is private, but it's like any Facebook group. You can request to join, and then it will be down to me if I let you in. Just joking about that, but yeah. But again, as well, as like, the more active I become on these things, the more I will be focusing on like moderation as well. Like, I want these places to be open, happy spaces for creators, but as soon as someone starts going in and causing problems or something, it's like, nope. Much like how it is in the Twitch chat, courtesy of, well, me and also Pebble. And Nova when he's around. Is Nova in it? Yeah, he is. And I'm getting sidetracked. So anyway, that is this. And then next up, we are stepping away from Facebook, and we are moving on to Instagram. And I told you that you're going to see... Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I told you you're going to see a bigger picture of it. And there it is. Kind of on a bit of fuzzy gridded paper, but it is there. There's the book in all its style, one of the original designs and concepts for the map, and yes, I will fully admit that that was done using MS Paint. There's no... people have to start somewhere. But yeah, you can see quite a bit of a difference between the map we've got now and... Hang on, if I just actually remove this for a moment, it will be the map you have there, and now it's that. So how different these things can become. And there have been different posts, there have been a few different things. I can't exactly remember which that one is specifically, but you've had dyspraxia awareness, you've had the Ko-fi page, Instagram is something that I'm still kind of getting used to with the posts, so it's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of the quality of the posts. Like, that one is you can tell that one's a bit off in terms of the angling, but then got liberation. I'm seriously kicking myself about the fact that I never posted the showcase of Assault on Alphalas, which I need to do. Got the podcast there, and I will deliver the first grand update here next Monday. all things going to plan, I should be doing the first podcast episode in quite a while. So at some point next week, hopefully that will release. And I cannot promise how active they're going to be, but I am fully intending on trying to get back on track with them. And it may be some cases where the guests, and I did mention this before, they may end up doubling up, so it may not always be just one. And yeah, I'm quite excited for that, really, because it's a part of the channel that personally I feel like's missing. I know it's not something that's always had the most viewership, and honestly I think part of that's the thumbnail. I made the thumbnail and I will fully admit it's not very good. But I am still very much open to continuing it, and it'll be exciting to bring in some other creators and start establishing those connections again. And got different dyspraxia. That is one thing I will admit about the Instagram. The Instagram has actually been a pretty heavy area that I've been focusing on with the dyspraxia related posts. It's been pretty much a mix between the books and the dyspraxia stuff, with the occasional YouTube thing. I haven't really done anything Twitch related with it, which maybe I should start doing. Or I can actually maybe double that up, because technically I have got another Instagram account, because for quite a while I didn't have access to this one. Again, same friend who's helped me out with these other bits and is the joint creator in that other project. She is the one who came up with this page, so credit goes to her for that. And yeah, she sent me the account details, and me, like a numpty, did not save them, which involved scrolling back a very long while in our messages to actually find it. So I have got another one, and maybe I should start utilising that one for the Twitch posts. So then the Twitch actually has a dedicated Instagram instead of adding more onto this one. And I mean, both of them will trace to the same areas and the same creator, but it will just be... And I mean, both of them will be managed by the same person, but... And, yeah, again, it's not a massive following on here like the rest of them, but again, these things come with time, and honestly, the Instagram, the Facebooks, I have not promoted them on the channel anywhere near as much as I should have. I've just been throwing the links into the description and then mentioning them if I remembered at the end of the videos, which I know, since I've been doing doubled up stream and recording content so many times over, I've just been forgetting to do, and I'm fully aware of that. And so this is out there. And yeah, it's an Instagram page. The link will be in the description like all the others, and I may also post up a little recap image in the edit at the end of this to just tailor through each of them so that people know what they'll find in the description. And yeah, that is the Instagram page. There isn't a massive amount. It's an Instagram page. There's not a massive amount to show, but it is another additional concept there. And this next one is going to be quite a brief glance over, because again, there's not too much to showcase, but we have the TikTok. And as you can see, it's been doing fairly nicely. Obviously, a lot of people will recognize... Anyone who's been watching the shorts will recognize some of these clips, like this one and this one, and I haven't actually put the Maggoty one on there. I'm a bit surprised by that, but yep, these aspects are on there. And again, it's, well, rinse and repeat what I've said before. The link's there and everything, but this one This one is obviously the most like the YouTube so far. Obviously it's short related, but it's all over the place. You've got the streams, you've got the books, you've got the dyspraxia, and you've got the podcast in there. So it's next to the YouTube, it's the biggest mix of all of them. Though I will admit a lot of the stream content for this specifically is event related, aside from one Halo one that I did quite early on. The Jumping Elite, who was a pain when I was trying to snipe him, but anyway. So that is all here as well. And like I said, that part is just going to be brief because again, it's a TikTok. There isn't too much to show, but it is one of the ones that I am. It goes through phases. A few times there can be a few pauses between the posts, but other times I'm more proactive with them. It depends how many kind of shorts I get, really, because unless Pebble clips them, I clip them myself. And when you're getting carried away with something or just getting distracted by something else, a lot of the time I tend to forget. And also with these issues I've had sometimes with the events in particular, with the stream lag, there's been cases where I've just removed a chunk of the stream because even if there was a funny moment in it, it's just too laggy. And yeah, that's just not fun content for anyone to really watch. But once again, it's a fairly sizable mixed bag. And now I'm going to go on to one and also mention another one which have certainly fallen behind the rest in terms of how much I've been showcasing them. And I even mean, because with both of them, one of them is right. One of them has not been shown for a while because the podcast stopped. And the other has not been shown or done for quite a while, quite frankly, because I just have not had the time. And that's why it's getting mentioned and not shown, because there's very little to show of it at the moment, but I will deal with that one first, and that's Pinterest. I do have a page up there. It has got a couple of things on, but really not that much, and it is something, and again, rinse and repeat what I said, because I'm not going to keep repeating it. And so once there is more visualization and imagery, because obviously Pinterest is one that relies a lot on that aspect, I will be able to showcase more. But beyond that, you've got the podcast, and it is purely podcast related because that is the Spotify for podcasts. And I will ignore that because obviously I have not been advertising it, and there has not been a new podcast video in a long while. But all the current episodes are on there. That accidentally flicked over to the Ko-fi there by accident. All the videos are on there. You can get them on the episode list. I think this is one that you do have to sign up for though, because it's Spotify. Again, it's not one I know too much about, but I was the whole aspect behind it was I was trying to get the podcast onto a different platform. Yeah, cool, you can look into monetization in the future, but I just wanted to try and reach a bigger audience, because not everyone's going to listen to YouTube whilst they're listening to podcasts or things. Some people may prefer Spotify, I don't really know, but it was an avenue to approach with it that, well, basically either it would do nothing or it would gain more traction. It wasn't really going to do anything else. There was no way you can necessarily decline it, so it was just worth the look. So it is on there, and as the podcasts climb up, I do aim on getting back on track with that. And yes, I mentioned the Pinterest, and now you got a brief glimpse of it, so let's go over to the finale of this, which is the Ko-fi page. I've showcased the Ko-fi page before. It is still here. It is still present with the shop. You've got the dyspraxia pin aspect that I tried to go for, or the in. It was meant to be a digital button, and then I realised that I don't have the technical know-how to do a digital button, so I ended up going for a bit of a compromise. Um, but that's on there. You've got Code of Chivalry standalone PDF. You've got Athalas Book 1 and 2. You've got Soul of the Gem in there. You've got the paperbacks as well, the original front cover for Athalas Book 1. You've got the Dyspraxia short, not short paperback as well. Not paperback, ebook. That one's not available in paperback. And I have toyed around with a few different things. I've done the set prices with customer can do what they want on top. But I've put it back to the norm now, so you've got the regular prices and then got the free plus. The main financial aspect doing well. I won't. No, I'm not even going to mention that because that's something that you don't project out unless you have actually interested customers. But you can do all of that. I have been trying to be a bit more active with the posts. It's kind like the last one was the short that I put on YouTube of Soul and Code of Chivalry, which was 20th. I mean, it was 15 days ago, so a little over 2 weeks ago. Do need to be more active with it again, but like that was the scary gap. January through to March, there was almost nothing, but it's just trying to find the time to do all of it. And I've already had several supporters on it, which has been brilliant. I've still got the membership as well. That's something else I was going to do. I was actually going to change around these pictures. All in good time. But you've got the pictures to support the channel. Not the pictures, the tiers. Each of the tiers has a different benefit. Like, if you get to the Commander on Athalas tier... Oh, wait, no. Is it Commander of Athalas? Well, you can get some of the books at half price or discounted prices. Nope, it's Knight of Athalas. Knight of Athalas onto Commander, you also get the opportunity of creating your own lore character for Athalas. Now, in the future, I aim to expand that out to not just be Athalas, but also potentially this other project, but also the sci-fi series I'm working on with the world building. So, if you want the opportunity to create a character in the world, you can with that. And instead of just having it in an idle, like, potential fan fiction or what if scenario, they can actually be canon to the lore. And you get to decide other aspects as well. Like, if you want a certain ending for them, you can create that. The only rule is, please do not break the actual lore for the world building. Well, don't break the other lore as well anyway, but I meant LORE in this. But, yeah. So, you can have that, just don't break the canon, and also don't destroy the world. But I've been doing images on this as well. There's been a mix here as well. Just different bits and bobs. Primarily dyspraxia and book related. Sometimes because Ko-fi does actually have an official Discord, and sometimes on there I do promote when I've gone live on Twitch. So I do try to tie some of the streaming in, but the big part about the Ko-fi page is that the Ko-fi page is actually linked to the Twitch. So whilst I am streaming and whilst I am live, there is a notification with a link that comes up if you want to support it. And obviously now you've also got the Twitch panel, which I will never forget, because obviously the short is out on the video. Not the short out on the video, the short's out on the channel of me getting tongue-tied and then proceeding to throw a comb by accident and hitting this because I forgot it was next to me. And whilst in the future I am looking at hopefully expanding out to maybe some other platforms or setting up my own shop and that, I have absolutely no intention of removing the Ko-fi, because whilst I know not everyone's a fan of it or wants to necessarily sign up to be able to contribute, which is perfectly understandable, for me it's so far actually been really good. So I don't really have any intention on removing it. And I will also just say I am not sponsored or affiliated with them in any way beyond this page or shop, so this is not me trying to promote it. This is just, I liked it, I'm keeping with it. And also, I wasn't originally going to mention this, but just a point of clarification. I know that people around have suggested before and all of that, look at Amazon as an author, look at Amazon KDP, look at Amazon Kindle and all of that. I know that that platform got hit by a lot of scams and issues, and I know the security's not the best. And I also know that next month they're implementing a change in the policy on author royalties. So my reasons to not go on board with Amazon have increased. So, and I don't mean any ill will for any author who goes onto it. It's just I'd rather do things this way around and look at other platforms other than Amazon. So, because the way I see it is the same way that if you're on Twitch and you promote, or you're on Twitch and you try to play this game that has so many streamers and all of these viewers, why would someone move on to your channel instead of the one that they've been following for maybe a couple of years or maybe even just a few months? What makes you different? And it's the same with this aspect. You enter into one of these big marketplaces as an author. What makes you different to the rest of them? And that's the balancing point on, like, yeah, a market like Amazon is absolutely massive. Doesn't mean for a single second it's going to work for you. And yeah, that's the whole nature and aspect of it, basically. So yeah, so this is the Ko-fi page, as I've said before. I mean, I can showcase through it, but you guys have seen a fair amount of it already, so I'm not really going to focus too much on it again. But obviously, yeah, if you do want to, if you want to support the channel, you can either, at the moment, do it through the Ko-fi with either the membership, an individual tip, or picking something up off the shop if you want something in return for it, like something actually tangible. Or you've got the I'm just trying to point up to the higher bit of the screen, the little text that's been there the entire time, the Twitch panel, which I know, courtesy of one of the other supporters, it does work, and do not need to, and I don't believe I need to be live for people to be able to do it. So, and actually, if we are just going to go on to that, I will actually just bring up the Twitch as a final little notion. And I am going to need to wrap this video in a moment. But once this actually decides to, you know, load, firstly, let's remove that. And secondly, I'm gonna, no, we don't need to listen to me. Yeah, it is this one here. That's the new panel one. Obviously, the Ko-fi one kind of eclipses it a little bit, but there it is. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to show with that. So I think now I am actually just going to close that down for the last bit. And the final bit that I just wanted to do for the end of this rather lengthy update video, to be honest, is that Path of Shar is nearly finished. So on top of the podcast returning, the final long overdue end of the Athalas trilogy is incredibly close. I've only got a little bit more to do on it. I've got a rather frustrating issue where I need to find a certain text font for something, but outside of that, which is a minor little persistent inconvenience, it is going to be there, and like the others, it will be available on the same platforms, and there will be an announcement video. I already have some areas and aspects and something courtesy of another friend of mine who he did, which is going to be getting included into it. So, speaking of Ko-fi, I've just had a notification from one of the other creators I follow. But yeah, that is going to pretty much wrap it up for this video. Hopefully, and I am just going to say hopefully, my audio has been okay. Hopefully it'll been coming through clear, because, well, this video is actually going to come out before the birthday chicken horse one, but I did have an issue where my audio, if you look at the last lore video, you'll hear it as well, my audio was really quiet, and it was an OBS setting issue, because I swear OBS resets things on its own sometimes. And yeah, I could hear that I was really quiet. So hopefully that is all resolved now. And if people don't think it is, if they think I need to be a bit louder, then I will adjust it. Because you can visually see how close I am to my microphone right now. And that is where I am going to conclude it for this video. There's nothing really else to add. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, I stream most weeks, providing there's not an issue. I stream Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They tend to be in the evenings, sort of like early to kind of like mid-evening. I never go beyond like 8 o'clock normally. And it is UK Standard Time. And beyond that, welcome to the Kingdom of Athalas and the world of Fellowmind books. Please do comment, like, and subscribe. And as this video has been very relevant to all of them, please do check out the links in the description if you would like to see more or keep up to date, and I promise I will work on updating them much more than I do. And until then, cheerio.